Hello, welcome to SpiderWebMan's black light summary. In a different video, we go through and describe these black lights and then go outside and show them in actual use, shining them on a spider web. In this video, I'm just going to talk about the results of that review and which ones I like the best. And we'll start out with these 6 CFL lights here. I bought some of these from eBay and some of them I bought directly from manufacturers in Hong Kong. What I was looking for is a CFL black light that would be brighter than this 13 watt one that Home Depot and Lowe's sells. I think this one's a 15 watt and some of these bigger ones are 26 watt. None of these are brighter than this. All of them are, some of these are almost as bright as this, and some of them are really bad and way worse than this. But these cost anywhere from $10 to $25, and yet they none of them are better than this 13 watt one that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's for $5. So obviously this is, if you're going to get a CFL light, this is the one I recommend. If you're going to use it indoors, this I think this is an 11.5 inch reflector that Home Depot and Lowe's sells for about $12, and you put this in there and it works quite well indoors. If you're going to use a CFL light outdoors, then you should buy this outdoor light fixture, which I sell on my website. It is designed for use with this 13 watt CFL light. You could also use a regular white CFL light and just use it as a regular spotlight too. And so that's what you'd want to use for outdoor use. And this is a big shop light that has two 40 watt lights in it. The shop light costs about $20. Each one of these costs about $15, so you're going to pay about $50 to get this. It's good for lighting up a large area. I used to use this outside, but it's not approved for outdoor use, and that's why I ordered these, so that I would have something that was safe to use for outdoor use. These work well like in a gym. Our church had a activity where the youth played volleyball in a gym in the dark, and they borrowed 2 of my light fixtures from this, and 2 of these lit up the gym quite well. So that's that. Let me get this out of the way. Those 2 lights out of the way. I'm going to next talk about these LED black lights. All of these here are called purple UV lights. They are in the 395 to 400 nanometer wavelength, which is on the edge of the UV light spectrum. It's apparently cheaper to make LEDs at that spectrum. These are called true UV LED black lights, and they're in the 365 nanometer wavelength, which is more in the middle of the UV spectrum. And these at least they're advertised as giving a better UV glow, but they cost 2 to 3 times as much, and I'll talk about those later. So let's first start with this one. It's a 3 watt light. It's got 3 1 watt elements here, and it's a screw-in thing. I've seen these on the internet for anywhere from $12 to $20, and if you do get these, you got to have a receptacle to screw it into. So they're only approved for indoor use, and they're very narrowly focused. When we used it outside, I had to get like 30 feet away from the spider web, and even then it only lit up the center part of the spider web, but it did light, the area that it did light up was fairly bright. These are 6 watt purple LED black lights. You can see there's 6 different elements here with a reflector. These are fairly narrowly focused also, but if you get about 30 feet away, they will light up the whole spider web. And they were about twice as bright as the glow from this outdoor light fixture using the 13 watt black light. Now the UV glow from fluorescent lights, it just looks better. It's a more pure UV, and they don't produce as much visible light. These You couldn't see it in the video, but when you're in person you can see the back of the house light up a little bit. These are producing some visible light also, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I really like these, and so I ordered a bunch of these, and this is the one I recommend because it's twice as bright as that. Now when you can order, well actually I had to order these special from the manufacturer. I haven't seen 6-watt anywhere else. The sample that I ordered had 3 wires like this and didn't have a plug on it, but the ones I ordered from them, I ordered a bunch of them to sell, and they do have a regular triangle plug on it here, and realized that for whatever reason they boxed them in this box that says 10 watt on it, and the picture looks like this 10 watt ones. I guess it's just the only boxes they had. I realize I'm a low quantity customer, and so they just do whatever's handy. And so if you order these from me, the box will say 10 watt, but it's actually a 6 watt light. Next, this is a 10 watt purple UV light that I bought off of eBay, and it worked fairly well, but it's the way the reflector is, it's more wide angle. You got to get like 10 or 15 feet away from the web, and even when you get real close like that, it's not quite as bright as these 6 watt ones. It surprised me. So, but if you were in a situation where you didn't have much space in front of your web and you wanted a wide angle light, you might want to get one of these, because you can get it 10 or 15 feet away from the web and lights up the whole web quite well. But also realize that when you have something that's wide angle like this that's up close, the bottom of the web is going to be brighter than the top of the web, because the top of the web is farther away from the light. Whereas if you have a light like this that's 30 feet away, the whole web is going to light up evenly, because the whole web is going to be pretty much 30 feet away from the light. Now, when you buy this off of eBay, realize that it's going to come like this with 3 wires that you have to wire up to a plug yourself. Some of the eBay listings make that clear, and in the picture they'll show this wire in the picture. And some of them on eBay, they'll have the wire going off like this and it's chopped off. But just realize that if you don't see a plug on the thing, assume that there's not going to be a plug. And I saw another guy on YouTube review one of these lights. It looked like the same thing. He had bought one of these, and he said, gee, I opened it up and the ground wire wasn't hooked to anything. And so I opened mine up, and sure enough, the ground wire was not hooked to anything. Now if you have a multimeter with an ohm setting, you can check that out without opening it up. Let's see if we can get that to set there. If you put one end of this to the ground wire and touch the other end to one of these screws, it should conduct, but you can see nothing's changing. Oops, that's because my finger is touching it. Oh, God. Look, you see, if I touch, anyway, as long as I'm not touching the light, then you see it stays. Anyway, it's not conducting electricity. Whereas if you go over here to this one, and I touch one end to that and the other end to this screw, you can see that it goes to 0 ohms or close to 0, which shows that it's conducting electricity. And so just if you get these from me, then it'll have a plug on it, and the ground wire to the plug will be grounded to the body of the light. And the reason why that's considered safer is because if one of the live wires in here did touch the body, the idea is that the electricity would go to the ground wire instead of to you when you touch the body. So that covers that. I'm going to move on to this 50 watt LED purple black light. I was excited to get this one just because it's so big. It looks really impressive. It's a big sucker. I got this from the same manufacturer as these lights, and because I was considering selling them. They work quite well. This is a fairly wide angle light. Again, you got to get like 15 to 20 feet away from the web. But when you get that close, it does light up the whole web really bright. It lights it up about the same as 3 of these 6-watt lights, which is surprising. So it's not quite as bright as you'd think it would be, but still it is bright. However, one problem is that it's got 50 watts in one element right in the middle here, which is very bright. If you look at this for more than a second, or even more than a fraction of a second, it hurts your eyes. So I was concerned that children might look into this and hurt their eyes. But if you had a place like maybe up in a tree or something where you wanted to mount these, where you don't think people would end up looking directly into it, it works real well to light up your whole yard. At least if you don't have a super big yard, this will pretty well light up your whole yard. Now, on eBay, I didn't see any 50-watt ones. I saw some 20-watt and some 80-watt. Now you can get an 80-watt one, and that definitely would, do a real good job. But again, realize that when you get those off of eBay from Hong Kong, that it's not going to have a plug on it. You can see I've wired up a plug to this, but this was just for temporary testing to permanently wire it up so it was safe for outdoor use. You'd want to do something better than what I've done. Last, I've got these 2 true UV black lights. I was excited to test these, hoping that they would work even better, but to my surprise they don't. The glow from this 6-watt one is about half of this purple 6-watt one. If anything, it's less than half. It was really disappointing. And the same for this 10-watt one. This is a 10-watt one. The glow from this 10-watt true UV was a little bit less than half of the glow you get from this 10-watt one. Now, these produce less visible light, and it's interesting when you look directly at them. When you look at them, they'll look white, which is surprising. But for whatever reason they do, but they don't produce as much visible light. They produce more UV light, and I didn't test it this way, but presumably if you were using a poster, they have posters that are made for UV lights, this would work better for a UV poster, and fluorescent black lights work well for UV posters. These do not. These purple ones, some of the paints on the UV posters won't glow at all, and the ones that do glow will be a different color than what you expect. But for the spiderweb, the glow was just fine. I really liked this one, and that's why I ordered a bunch of these. And in addition to not working as well, these cost almost 3 times as much. And so you won't find these. It's really hard to find these on the internet, and that's why, because they're so expensive, and yet the UV glow you get from them is lower. Maybe in the future they'll make these more efficient and cheaper, but as of right now, that's not something you want to get. So I think that covers everything. Thank you for watching, and have a happy, fun, and safe Halloween.